Hi there, clinical hypnotherapist Daniel Maresca, and thanks for checking back with me here. I hope you've enjoyed the videos so far. Just to recap what we've covered so far, we started off and I explained to you what a state was. A state being a constellation of different kind of factors within your experience, including your body, where your focus is, as well as your emotions and thoughts and images that you have, especially around a given issue. And so from there, we went on to use a technique to shift your focus using your different physical senses. And then we also, in the third video, looked at using your body to shift your state and using a certain breathing technique to be able to shift things for you. And then in the last video, we addressed those emotions, the emotional state or the emotions that kind of were rolled up in that state that you were experiencing. And we used core transformation to shift you to a more positive emotional state. And hopefully you saw a noticeable shift in how you felt with that process. And so what I want to do now is to kind of connect all these pieces together. So when we started with the first video, and I talked about what it makes a state, all these different, the three legs of the stool, so to speak. What we're doing is we're tuning in to, when we look at that constellation of things or that state in and of itself, we're tuning into an inner part of you, an inner aspect. And maybe you've read some blogs that I've written about inner parts, but effectively we have these parts within us that come about at some point in our life, usually in childhood, and they have a certain emotional state, they have a certain beliefs about themselves. Now, it's an aspect of you, but it's not the higher, wiser version of you that you're trying to get to, the version of you that feels good. It's another version that's maybe acting in a way to protect you or to keep you from experiencing something. And so this part that we've started to tune in here to can create some of these aspects of a state. And then it makes it difficult in life to orient yourself relative to a given issue when you have this sort of state this part that steps up and takes over your thoughts, images, ideas, emotions, and behaviors. And so in hypnotherapy, one of the things that we do is we work to shift this part within you. And we do that with various techniques. And so what I'd like you to do now is just to further connect to that part within you, is to, again, bring to mind that issue that you've been kind of working on. Maybe it's shifted quite a bit at this point, but bring to mind that issue. And I want you to connect with your physical body. So let your eyes close. And we're just going to kind of navigate our way to find this part a little bit, get a little bit more clarity about this part. And so I want you, with your eyes closed, I wonder if you can just connect within to your physical body. And as you think about this issue, and if you can recall those emotions that we went through in that core transformation process, when I think about and I feel so, and all of those emotions, it's because I am, and all those beliefs, I am. And so when you connect to all of that, notice what you're experiencing in your body. Just tune in. Really, really feel those feelings, those beliefs. And notice where you have some sort of a ping sensation in your body. And so first, just connect with the location. Where is it in your body? Oftentimes it's sort of in the somewhere below your chin and above your waist, but it could be somewhere else. Maybe it's in your chest, your throat, your solar plexus, your gut, your stomach, your tailbone. And just connect with where it is in space when you think about this issue. Is it inside the body or outside of the body? It could be both, or just inside the body, just a sense that that's where it is, inside. And then, does it have a shape to it, this thing in there? When you think about this issue and feel those emotions, what shape might it have? Could be the shape of a specific object that comes to mind, or the shape, some amorphous sort of shape that you can only kind of describe in your mind. So just connect and maybe in your mind describe the shape, if there is one. And what about a size? How big is that thing in there? And when you try and determine the size, your mind might come up with something that it's as big as or as small as. And your deep subconscious mind is quite clever. And so when it does that, sometimes that might lead you somewhere. So notice the size that it has and then connect to the color. Is there a color? Is it a dull gray, a mucusy kind of greenish brown? Is it red? Is it black? Yellow? Whatever color comes to mind. And what about a texture? Is it smooth or rough? Or does it even have a texture? And what about a temperature? Is it hot or cold or lukewarm or sort of empty and vacuous with no temperature? Good. And so now at this point you've connected with what we would call a metaphor for this state and for this part. Okay, so go ahead and allow your eyes to open. And so now with that understanding that there's a sort of physical reality to this inner part of you that creates this state, these emotions, these this focus, these ideas and beliefs about yourself. And this whole collection is an inner part of you that maybe is not leading you where you want to go, or it's making things harder to see or understand or navigate. And that's okay. That's we all go through that. We all have these inner parts. And in hypnotherapy, what we do is we can connect to where that part comes from. Where did it originate? Usually it's before the age of 7 or 10. And in a hypnotherapy session, what we can do is we can go back and either go back to the backstory to that inner part that's creating all of this for you, or we can talk directly to that part and try and understand it better, and then get it on board with where you're at and what you'd rather be feeling instead. So that's the magic of hypnotherapy, is when you're in a trance state, which is what we do in a session, is like we talk at the beginning, get an idea of all these things we've just talked about here in these videos. And then we use hypnosis to get you into that relaxed state of mind and body. And then we can connect to the deeper subconscious mind, which is where these parts and beliefs all exist. And then we can magically really transform those to what you want instead, shift your emotional state, and then bring that forward into your life and your experience and sort of embody that new way of being that you'd rather have instead. So that's hopefully helpful for you to understand and to begin to shift things and connect more, even just in the process of these videos, to shift things around a given issue. In hypnotherapy, I work with clients that have pretty intense issues. So we talked about a 4 or 5 or 6 with this issue in these videos, but you might have something that's maybe a 7, 8, 9, or even a 10 in terms of how intense your feelings and emotions and beliefs are around a given issue. And we can really transform that in just a couple of sessions, certainly in just one session, but over the course of a few sessions, we can make some really profound shifts for you. So if you're interested at all, I'd love to talk with you. We can just chat on the phone and I can share more about how hypnotherapy can help you to shift things in your life so that you're feeling more peace, happiness, joy, all those things that you're looking for. So once again, thank you so much for being with me on this journey. Feel free to reach out. You can email me or call me directly. I'd love to speak with you and share how I can help you to feel your best.